Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back.
World champions will be crowned, legends will be made. This is going to be epic.
This is a dream come true.
And let's go for the next one.
And here we go once again, everybody. We are now going into a little bit of an expression session because we have such a good forecast. The conditions are firing and we've got a good solid 25 knots out there. So if you're joining us for the first time today, welcome. My name is Liam Dredge and I'll be taking you through this last little section of what has been an amazing event here at the Defender GKA Kite-Surf World Cup. We're in Sylt, Germany, and let me tell you, it's been pretty much windy every single day throughout this last week, and we've been crowning champions left, right and centre in hydrofoil big air, in women's and men's kite surf discipline as well. So amazing work from all of our riders. But it's now time to have a little bit of fun out there because we'll be doing a best trick exhibition session. So fully focusing now on that freestyle move. We're going to be seeing kite loops, we're going to be seeing frontside shove-its, we're going to be seeing all sorts of manoeuvres, maybe some innovation as well. And we've got a really interesting and exciting fleet of riders. Pretty much all of the riders have decided to enter here. We've got all the big names like the likes of Ayrton Cozzolino, James Carew. We also have my friend that's been joining me in the booth this week, Teo de Menales. He's going to be also out there as well. And then once we start with the strapless first, we'll be moving over to best trick of the hydrofoil. So lots of action to follow. This is going to be a really enjoyable one. So sit back, relax. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Where are you watching in the world? Is it the morning? Is it the afternoon? Or is it beer o'clock? For some of you, it might be beer o'clock. It's nearly beer o'clock here. So really looking forward to this one. Who's going to take best trick? Let us know in the comments. And it's going to be a great afternoon of action.
Goosebumps on my skin, I feel you on my body. Lose my mind within, your presence is so godly. Lose my mind within, your presence is so godly.
And a beautiful sight there of Sylt. There's amazing conditions we've got today. Blue skies are out, wind is blowing, and what a lovely event site we have there. I mean, great thing about this event is that it's always so busy down here, and the public love it coming down here. And We've got our podiums later on this afternoon. Local time is pretty much bang on 1 o'clock now. And the plan of action is to do another couple of hours of competition, maybe just shy of a couple of hours. And then we've got our podiums, our prize giving at 3 o'clock. And then that's it. That's another successful event done here in Sylt. And then the team in the GKA is going over straight to Dunkirk in France as we have our first twin tip freestyle competition of the year. So it's a busy schedule for all involved. But for now, we are going to enjoy this expression session because we have finished the official competition. Let's remind ourselves of the winners. We saw Charles Bedell take the victory in the Hydrofoil Big Air, once again showcasing why he is the top dog in that discipline. And then we had what will go down in history probably as one of the windiest Sylt finals we've ever seen on tour, with James Carew taking the victory after a whole year out of competition due to injury last year. What a way to make a comeback, really putting his foot down on the accelerator. And then wrapping things up earlier today, we had Capucine Delannoy, who took the women's title, scoring a perfect 10. Speaking of perfect 10s, Gabrielle Benetton is in this heat. He was the other rider to score the only perfect 10 in the competition with a frontside 3 shove it. Will we see that again? Is it windy enough to see that again? Let's wait and see. But you're all probably wondering, well, what's going on now? It's an expression session with our surfboard riders, and it's all about doing the best trick. So what are our judges looking for? Well, they're looking for power, they're looking for execution, the style, the commitment going into the trick as well. Obviously, all of that's got to be paired with the overall sort of image and landing. Takeoff and landing, very, very important, but also very, very tough because of the choppy landings. Tide's on the way in, so it's going to get a little bit bigger. As you can see now, Gabrielle Benetton on your screen, one of the riders that really does have a great freestyle background. As mentioned, he was the only male rider to score a perfect 10 in this competition. A little bit of money up for grabs as well for our riders here, although this isn't official competition. There's still few coin to be made, let's say. So it's definitely competitive out there as we see a frontside 3 shove it there. So imagine that same move, but with 3 initial front roll rotations. That's what we saw from Gabrielle Benetton. Bear in mind, he did it in about 45 knots as well on Friday. But we're just going to have a little look and see who's actually in this first heat, because that's going to be very interesting as well. I also saw the names of the Cassatis wanting to get a little bit involved in this expression session. So here we go. In this first heat, we've got Gabrielle Benetton, Tim Sermon, Leo Sermon, Gray Foster, and Teo Dimanez. Sorry. I'll get it one time. They'll be doing their jumps in sequence with the flags on the beach. As you can see, they've all got coloured lycras on. So when their flag gets raised, it is their turn to jump. There he is, Teo. Great job in the booth he's done joining me throughout some of those really important heats in the competition. He'll be hoping to go far in this expression session. As I just hear the buzzer go, which I believe now means that we are in sequence. Scores still to drop. As first to jump here, Gabrielle Benetton. So what has he got for us? Lining up one of those kickers, going right foot forward. 1, 2. Looking like he wanted to put the shove it in there as well, but as you can see, losing the board on the way down. We now go over to the next rider in sequence, which I believe would be Tim Sermon. And look at that, just as I say the names, the scoreboard comes up as if it was magic. Round number 1, heat number 1 of the Kite-Surf best trick. Tim Sermon now out there in the other black lycra. Beautiful view from above here. Some would say it's magic, some would say it's Joe. I definitely believe it's still magic. Leo Sermon now. Left foot forward as he lines up one of the kickers. Definitely has increased wind-wise as well. Probably looking at around 25 to 30 knots out there at the moment. Seems funny to say, but this is one of the lighter days that we've seen actually in the last week in Sylt. Beautiful day. Doesn't get better than this really. When you've got the sun out, you've got strong winds, and you've got the best in the business. As Leo there, going for his first trick attempt. Amazing to be out here in Sylt with the best in the world competing. Some of the names still to come. The likes of James Carew, obviously, as mentioned. Ayrton Cozzolino is also going to be out there. Ayrton not having the event really to remember. I remember speaking to him yesterday on the beach, and he'll be looking to discard this event. He's actually going to Morocco a little bit earlier to train and make sure that he doesn't have the same result as he did here in Sylt. Because the tour has 5 events this year, it does allow our riders to discard one event, essentially meaning that their worst result, they can sort of put it in the bin and forget about it when it comes to the end of year rankings. James doing that for Cape Verde. Ayrton most likely going to be opting to hopefully do that here in Sylt. But there's plenty of competition still left in the year. 1, 2 for Gray Foster, double front roll. Textbook stuff there from the American. There we have one of the local, probably beach users here in Sylt, just enjoying maybe his home spot. Maybe he fancies a little best trick competition on a twin tip. So last to jump, Teo. Black lycra out there, wearing the helmet. Riding for Cabrina. Tim Sermon there. He'll be jumping after Gabriel Benetton. As the best score so far is that one from Gray Foster, that's 6.77. So just trying to find out where Teo is at the moment. He's out there. And I can see now Teo's score coming in as a crash. So we now go back to Gabriel Benetton. Here he is on your screen now with the blue lycra. I reckon he's going to be trying for this triple front roll. I think maybe the triple front roll shove it will be a tough one to do in this breeze, but maybe he'll go for the double front roll shove it as well. You can see now lining up, liking what he sees here. One hand comes off the bar, he goes round for the double front roll with the shove it, and just goes over the front of the board, not able to land that one. Second crash there for Gabriel. So because of the wind speeds now on this expression session for best trick, let's just talk about a little bit about what might we see. Well, on Friday we obviously saw a lot of more big air style riding, going to the moon, big kite loops, contra loops with multiple rotations from the likes of Carew, Cassati, Nicola as well was throwing it down. As Tim Sermon now goes up for a back rotation with a kite loop as well and board off. Not much height, but I definitely think we're going to be seeing more technical manoeuvres rather than going down the big air route, which will play in the favours of the likes of Gabriel Benetton when he's a bit more technical for freestyle. So Leo now, red lycra will be the next one to jump. As we follow him right foot forward. Goes for that back roll with the board off. And not able to land that one. Does still have a score on the board though. Gray Foster now, left foot forward, going up for that double front roll with a front shove it as well. But like Gabriel, doesn't manage to get the board back under his feet. However, still is in first place with the double front roll, 6.77. So back over to Gabriel at the moment. As you can see there, riding right foot forward. Always does his tricks coming in right foot forward, actually. He'll be looking for that shove it now, for sure. He knows he can probably do a double front roll, but definitely going down the more technical route for the Brazilian as he goes round for a, 3 front rolls there. That's going to be taking him into the lead of this heat now. Beautiful stuff there from Gabriel. We saw there the 2 front rolls from Gray scoring a 6.77. Gabriel there going a little bit higher with 3. So I reckon that's going to be potentially up around the 8s, the early 8 mark. As now focus shifts back over to Tim. Hasn't got a score on the board just yet. Has crashed his first 2 tricks. Were we going to see another kite loop maneuver? Yes, maybe not. No, he does go for it. And lands it. You can see he was pretty stoked and happy about that one as well. Fist pumping. Leo now up next. And the day's just got even better as a good friend and Joe Siasula is joining me here. Joe, this is normally you're normally in the booth, but obviously been directing the show today and throughout the rest of the week, and it's been epic, don't you think?
Yeah, just really cool to finally come in the booth and be here with you, mate, and actually talk to you in the flesh and not through a microphone. But no, been enjoying the action behind the scenes and what scenes we have had here in Sylt. Want to remember? Yeah,
it's been amazing. Apart from having you bark in my ear every time, but you know, here we are. Now you're next to me. It's not like I don't see you enough. But we've got the best trick now. What do you reckon after seeing, you know, some of the heats throughout the week? In fact, we've seen some amazing freestyle. Today, slightly lighter conditions to maybe what we did see on Friday. So, you know, I'm thinking it's going to be more about technicality.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this man on screen here, Gabriel Benson, coming out of Brazil, landed the first ever triple loop with a shove-it. He is the first man to got the 10 of the event. Then you think of Capucine Delanois as well. On the women's side, front shove-it, 2 very technical moves, also that 10. Obviously, multiple rotations is going to be the upper side because, as you just said, you know, there's probably around 22 to 25 knots, and they're not going to go as high and as big as we saw with the 40 knots that we had over the, you know, the previous days here in Sylt. But, you know, it's all about overall impression as well. You know, what the judges are looking for is that complete rider. You know, in the end, the beach is packed. You've got all of the crowd down here that we've seen throughout the week. It doesn't matter if it's sunny, if it's raining, if it's windy. They are hardcore. And, you know, they just want to be cheering on their local heroes and the ambassadors here of the sport here for the GKA Kite World Tour. And, yeah, great to be in Germany and, you know, the boys and girls putting on a show, and that's why we're here.
I mean, we really couldn't have asked for it any better, could we? We've had everything. We've had, you know, slightly lighter days, but... You know, the forecast has played in our favour absolutely perfectly, especially for this last day today, to be able to wrap the women up in prime conditions for them. We saw it was absolutely nuking on Friday, so better for, you know, the men to go out there and showcase what they have. But now on a Sunday afternoon, we've got a little bit of fun now with the exhibition, and then we'll be kicking things off at 3 o'clock with the prize giving, and that just wraps up this event perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to come to Sylt and get these conditions in August, which let's say isn't the windiest time of
Not
the
at all.
year, it's a one-off.
Yeah.
Tom Hartman, our tour manager, was saying this is one for the history books. To be able to have wind every single day. Last year we had, I think it was about an hour wind in the whole competition. This year, the wind gods have sent us some love, and wow, we have used every single instant of it and been able to showcase strapless freestyle and wave riding to a different level. I mean, the maneuvers, the height, the technicality, and the one thing that gets me the most of the riders, of course, all of them, they are the best in the world. This is why they're here battling it out against themselves and Mother Nature. But it is how the kite control is now. And then, on the equipment side is how far we've come from those Wickerbo kites about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
it is insane.
It is just crazy. And the great thing about coming actually to Sylt for an event is we're doing tricks and wave. We're factoring in 2 different styles of riding in this discipline, which essentially at the end of the year, allows us to crown a world champion, but, covering all angles of the sport. We're not just crowning a world champion in wave or purely freestyle. We're really crowning an overall rider.
Yeah, and hello everybody. Hope you are enjoying the stream, and it's been a long week. You've been hand solo, mate. Hats off to you. It's been
a big old stint.
It has, but I think the action has been great, and yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to show you guys and girls back at home once again. Thank you to all the followers for joining us, commenting on the stream. Once again, keep following us up. We want to push this as hard as possible. If you want to know about gear, you want to know about athletes, the ins, the outs, what they're doing in the day or the nightlife, don't forget to hit on those comments on all of our social media. And yeah, once again, just enjoying another beautiful day here in Sylt. Who would have known?
You wouldn't think you're in Sylt on this beautiful day, as you say. I mean, blue skies are out, the wind is blowing, and we've got a few more tricks coming our way as Leo now has a 3 for his best trick at the moment, which was his first score. Following Leo, we've got Gray and Teo. But the man of the moment at the moment who's actually put down a very good score is Gabriel Benetton with a 9 on the money for that triple front roll.
Yeah, he's got almost, you could almost say he's got those on tap.
Yeah,
he is
with his eyes closed.
One of the guys that really is super technical. But then, Gabriel is probably a prime example of one of the most complete athletes we have out here on tour. He has a huge surfing background. I mean, come on, let's not forget he comes from probably one of the biggest tribal surfing cultures that is Brazil, being hanging out over there in Mexico. Saw him in Puerto Escondido. This guy, this guy can throw down when it comes to waves. But then, similar to Pedro Matos, with that background of Sebastian Ribeiro, he's put in the work on the freestyle. And I'm going to say he's probably the best surf freestyle Brazilian athlete we have out here on tour.
Yeah, and he's actually quite new to the tour. If you think about it, when his first event was, I believe it might have been Dakar. Was it Dakar in 2022, maybe? I can't remember quite. But he's not, he's relatively new on the tour, and he's had some amazing results. Yet to win an event, but I'm pretty sure he had another second place finish last year as well. It's only a matter of time until he takes an event win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And kind of, when he started to appear was when he was Big Air World Champion over there in Tarifa, when he kind of put, let's say, made his mark. And I think that those big air taxis definitely came in useful the past few days with the wind, and then now enjoying, let's say, the more normal conditions down here. Athletes out there on 11, 10-meter kites and nice and powered. And here, Teo de Manis, who has been absolutely rocking it over here in the commentary booth and going for the front, trying the front double shove it. Such a cool guy, Teo.
Yeah, no, it's great to have him in the booth as well. He was absolutely ripping in here, and it makes it a little bit easier when you've got that man next to you and you can talk about what's going on, especially when the action was how it was just exhilarating from start to finish, as Teo was the last rider to jump in that heat. 4 trick attempts for our riders, but it's Gabriel Benetton who is the man to beat.
All right, so we're going to have 3-minute transition, ladies and gentlemen, continuing on here for the final day of the Defender GKA Kite-Surf World Cup over here in Sylt. And now we're going to be with the best trick of the surf freestyle. Once again, hi everybody. If you're just tuning in, thank you for joining us. Liam, good afternoon, mate.
I know, it's so good to be here, and looking forward to seeing the next bunch of riders that come up, because as I mentioned earlier today, the riders that have opted to do this expression session is pretty much the majority of the kite surf athletes that were in the fleet. So it's always good to see them go on the water again, perform. Slightly lighter conditions today. I would love to see some unhooked.
That's true. I mean, I reckon Ayrton's going to be out there. We're going to see James. Probably going to be seeing some of those 3-1-3s. And then also, they do love a crowd. And if Sylt brings one thing, as you can see, the beach is absolutely packed, ram-packed with people wanting to get it. We've got Ingo on the mic. We're going to have a show.
Yeah, it's always good. I mean, I can always hear him on the mic as well, like amping up the crowd. They love it, actually, you know, cheering, clapping. And there's no, you know, although they've got their fan favourites, and we've got a few of the local German riders here competing, they like, you know, they like to see everyone do well, and you know, it just creates the vibe. We've got 3 o'clock podiums, which is going to be epic as well, where we're going to be crowning our champions, James Crew, Capucine Delanois, and Charles Bedell on the Hydrofoil. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
No, triple threat. And I mean, you know, James Carew coming back 1 year off of injury.
Crazy.
First event in, takes the win. Capucine Delanois. Wow.
Yeah,
that was
rides.
some 10-point rides. In front shove it. Absolutely brilliant. And then Charles Bordeaux as well. But while we're waiting for the action, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out the highlights of this beautiful Sylt. And welcome back, everybody, one more time for the Defender GKA Kite-Surf World Cup over here in Sylt, Germany. On your screen, Ayrton Cosolino, the alien, as we like to call him, mate.
Yeah, I mean, we were speaking a little bit about Ayrton as well. He hasn't really had the, you know, he's a bit disappointed with his end result here, but he'll be looking to better that in this, although it is an expression session. His competitive spirit will come through. He'll want to take a victory here.
Yeah, didn't have the, I mean, you know, let's not get it wrong. Getting fifth place, like, didn't make it through to the finals, but still, you can just see absolutely pushing that freestyle level. But hey, look at the image. This is it. It's so sunny, good. Blue skies. There's beautiful wind. The crowd is packed. You can see, you know, the organizers here putting on absolute show. All of the brands are here. All of the public's here, wanting to see the top kite surfers in the world. And there you can see Luca Gasperini, the Italian stallion, coming in on screen, trying a little front loop board off. Starting to get a mix on. Let's not forget the athletes have 4 maneuvers each. We've got 3 athletes in the water. First is going to be in the blue. We're going to see Luis Grossard. In the black, Luca Gasperini, and then Ayrton Cosolino. Interesting story, mate. I had no idea that Luis Grossard was a young kid that I sold him his first kite 10 years ago. And suddenly his father came up to me and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I know. His father came up to me and said, I got this kite a few years ago and it was full of holes and a deflated bladder.
That would be me.
And he was, put it lightly, he was using a few words that I can't say on the stream right now. So, yeah, if you want to buy kites, not from this guy. Ayrton there going for, not quite sure what that was, but he hit the ground pretty heavy.
Yeah, it looked like definitely, you know, obviously unhooking, so he's going to be going for that flat 3. Got the other spin in it. I wonder if he's starting to try and get the flat 7 by coming from the freestyle. Ayrton Cosolino, I think safely you can say he is the man that has pushed strapless freestyle to where it is today.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Everyone on tour looks up to him. It's always, I mean, everyone that goes up against Ayrton in a heat as well. I always speak to people and they're never like disappointed to go up against him when they're in a heat, because they enjoy that they actually get the privilege of actually competing with him in a heat, which is quite cool. Obviously, he's always a tough competitor to come up against, but whenever they experience having a heat with Ayrton, it's always one they remember.
All right, so here we can see also in the red. All right, so that's going to be Luca Gasperini. So it looks like we've got some wrong colors, but luckily we know the faces.
Yeah, they put on the wrong lycra colours, but as you mentioned, we know these riders because we see them pretty much all the time.
All right, front loop board off a Rodeo with
nice.
a tic-tac. Nice there from Luca. Calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, it was very much in control from start to finish there, and lovely shot of a crowd as well. As you can see, the drone has been doing all the business for us, giving us all the angles, and we've been following riders doing freestyle moves, but it really does excel, and you can see what a great setup we have here. We've also got a screen, so there's a big crowd of people just behind those containers on the right-hand side watching the live, and yeah, it really is amazing.
All right, so you can see your Red Bull athlete hailing out of Cape Verde at the back there. And then Luca Gasparini here coming out of Italy, as we mentioned. Luca, very talented surf freestyler. Let's see how he does here in this best trickless. We have 3 heats of the men. And what will happen is the top score will be the winner of those 3 heats. At the moment, Gabriel Benetton from Brazil with a 9.0 with that triple front loop, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, triple front roll.
And let's see, obviously, Ayrton, we already saw him unhooking. He's definitely going to be going for some handle passes, I reckon.
Yeah, he crashed his first trick, so he's going to be on his second here. We're just following that rider there in the middle with that gong kite, that nice white and blue kite. That is the man we're looking for, Ayrton Cozzolino, the Red Bull athlete. Let's see if he, cliche, has got the wings to fly.
Yeah, let's see. Red Bull gives you wings. They're already on their second trick attempt, so it looks like Corzolino is going to be coming up next. As we're going to be looking for the... So let's stay on this rider with the blue lycra and the gong kite. I know, back there in the booth, Kiki. Blue lycra.
This is good.
There it is.
Looked like he unhooked as well. He's just fiddling with the chicken loop there. So most likely there, Ayrton coming out of an unhooked landed maneuver. It's like he heard me say it on the stream, wasn't he?
It is. I mean, down behind the scenes, we've got Kiki, who has been switching left, right, center, camera 1, camera 2, and drone all week long. Absolute legend. Really such a good crew down here in Sylt, and a big thank you to them. And of course, let's not forget Harry.
They've been ripping it in there, but I believe now moving on to Luca Gasparini. So we're looking for the Lycra Red now out there. Red Lycra is the one we are looking for. Here he is, Luca Gasparini now. So we're going to stick with this rider as he goes left foot forward. You can just see they're looking back at the beach, waiting for that red flag to go, but we have a crash there from Louis before. So this is going to be the rider next to jump. Currently with a 5.07 for that front roll rodeo tic-tac. Ayrton Cozzolino also has a score dropping, which is going to look like it's going to bump him just up into first place in this heat. But it's all about a collective heat. It's not who wins in this one that goes through. We've got riders, you know, it's the overall from the collection that do this expression session. So Gabriel Benetton still the leader with that 9.
Yeah, exactly. You know, having that 9.0 triple front roll, waiting for Luca here, you can see. So now looks like he's just trying to eye up a kicker. Obviously, lighter conditions out there. We've got about 22 to 25 knots in this beautiful day. Thank you very much. Look at that, 23.9. Don't get more precise than that, mate.
That was just pot luck there, mate.
All right, here we go. It's left foot forward. Port tack, up, over, and under the sea like the mermaid.
Yeah, he's gone in the drink there. Crashed for Luca. Now we switch back to Ayrton Cozzolino. So, looking now for Ayrton, who's on the left-hand side. He'll be coming in and doing his trick, most likely right foot forward. We've seen a lot of his tricks be. Will he go for some unhooked maneuver?
I reckon he will. We've seen him already try the frontside 3 twice. So eyes on Ayrton here. Having a little chit-chat with the guys coming off next. Probably he's going... Ayrton does like a little push. So we could always say, you can see. And also one of the, let's say, the hypes of the moment is to see Ayrton out there. New gong rider. Changing over some duotone. One of the, let's say, one of the biggest news in the kiteboarding world for, over the last few months. Parting ways with duotone, and now he is going to be your gong athlete. But we're going to continue And waiting for now is going to be Gasparini. As it looks like there's something's going on there. Yep, there you go. So he's crashed that out. So let's stay on Ayrton. What are you calling? I'm going to say frontside 3 or 3-1-3.
Well, he's on the backside 3 of a 5.27. I don't know. I don't know what he fancies. Definitely, I think he's going to be going unhooked.
Yeah, I mean, right foot forward, Ayrton
Frontside
does.
3, I reckon.
Right foot forward, Ayrton does the backsides. And yeah, look, he's looking for the ramp.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Yeah, he put the brakes on there, tactical.
This boy doesn't know what brakes are.
Ayrton now locked and loaded, looking, eyeing up a kicker, deciding he doesn't want that one. Will he now switch it round and do a trick left foot for you? He's turned round, he's gone switch.
All right. All right, so he is looking for that ramp. For you guys and girls back home, obviously unhooking means that he disconnects his chicken loop and holds the kite with the power of his arms, which allows him to pass that bar behind his back. Here we go. All right, going for the backside 3. Oh! Keeps it together by literally the toenails, mate.
How has he done that? I don't get the balance that they have on the landings as well, and how they're able to keep it together after looking like, looking so out of control on the landing a little bit. Just so impressive from these riders.
So that's going to be his third trick attempt. So one more round of maneuvers. So we're going to be looking for this young man here. Lewis coming out of France. Let's see what he has. So cool to see the new generations coming into the World Tour.
Yeah, most definitely. Here on our screen at the moment, this is Luca Gasparini. So we're looking for the other rider with the blue lycra. As Luca will be next to jump. I believe there we have the other rider there with the duotone, what looks to be an Evo.
As they're just eyeing up the kickers here. Nice little waves over here today as well. It's almost tempted to go for a session, mate.
I said exactly the same. I was, watching the riders earlier. Oh, Ayrton, how did he keep that on?
He just kept that together. It is incredible to see the top strapless athletes. I swear they have surgical magnets in their feet.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
All right, so here we can see, yeah, Lewis looking behind him. He is going to be engaging. All right, going for front roll. Oh, tic-tac with a flip.
Nice.
Nice. That's going to get a good score.
Yeah, lovely style there.
Mm.
Something that we haven't seen yet. I thought he was done with them once he did the flip.
Ain't over until it's over, mate. All right, so now it's going to be Luca Gasparini. Here we can see the replay.
Yeah, with the front roll as well.
Yeah, up and over. And actually getting a little bit of inversion on that front roll. So, yeah, very nice. Obviously trying to hit that vertical axis. The young French athlete.
That's an important one for him as well, because he actually hasn't landed a trick yet. So for him to be able to land that on his last move will definitely go far. And it's looking good as well. It could potentially bump. Well, it's his best scoring. It might be the best score of the heat so far.
Last day, last move, last trick. Up against your world #1 as well. Ayrton Cosolino. So now, here we have this man, Luca Gasparini, Forza Italia.
Yeah, Ayrton's got a good score coming in there, yet to drop, but it's looking like it's going to be around the 8s for that backside 3.
You can see him out there on the Neo. I think that's a 10 meter if I'm correct. But I mean, look at sunny skies here. Like we've had everything from rain to storm to tornado to sunny skies. It's all been happening over here in Sylt.
It got so stormy that the power was cutting out sometimes. Like it was just full on. I mean, some of these riders were saying that they haven't even been out in conditions like that. Because here as well in Sylt, with the wind, it's a lot more denser. So it's when it's windy, like 45 knots, it's like proper windy.
Wow. Separating the boys from the men, mate. All right, nice. Up and over, looking like a back roll tic-tac from what I can see here, but losing the board. So going for the final move of the heat, Ayrton Cosolino. At the moment, he is in first position with a 8.17 for that backside free. And I've seen Ayrton do frees. He can improve that and get it completely under control. Will it increase over the 9 of Gabriel? Last chance to do that. If not, at the moment, Gabriel will be your leader. So here we go. Cosolino dropping in.
Yeah, do you reckon he got deducted on the landing for the points there?
Absolutely. In the end, you know, let's not forget judging criteria. Let's say the two of the main words is execution and control. So if you can hit a move with the best execution possible, style, speed, travel, power, and then also demonstrate control, that you completely entry and exit speed. Ayrton, and yes, he landed it. Yes, it was impressive. Obviously 8.17, but barely held on at the end. Here we having a little problem with the chicken loop here. He knows what's on the line. Ayrton is one of the most competitive athletes I know. Here we go. Going up and over, but not getting the landing. So at the moment, Gabriel holding on to that first position with a triple front roll at 9.0, meaning he is your current leader as we come into the final heat of the Kite-Surf best trick. And then we're going to be changing it over and going to the Hydrofoil for a 30-minute heat to see who's going to be the best now. And now, coming out on the water, there's a familiar face.
Yeah, your champion here in Sylt, James Carew, is going to be also getting involved in this best trick competition. On Friday, we obviously saw him going down more of the big air route, lots of contra loops, kite loops, you know, big rotations. So not going to be seeing that today. I reckon going potentially down the same route as Ayrton. Maybe we'll see some unhook maneuvers.
Yeah, James, I haven't seen him do backside frees. I've only seen him do 3-1 frees, which he would be doing left foot forward, so on the way out with the kicker. So I'm actually interested to see that Ayrton wasn't trying those, but it must be, obviously it's a little bit more onshore here today. As you can see, the guys and girls are going, let's say, more parallel to the shore. But at the moment,
mate, look at this lineup.
We have a lineup. Who we got there, mate?
We got James Carew, who's going to be jumping first, blue lycra. We're then having Leonardo Casati, who is one of the youngest riders here, and absolutely rips, just like his brother Lorenzo Casati, who will be jumping after him. Lorenzo had a great finish here in 3rd place. And then we've got last year's event winner, Kiko.
Yeah, and one thing about Kiko, he is a light wind specialist.
Most definitely.
Yeah, Kiko Roy hailing out of Spain, just changing over to the Elevate team and the Halley team this year. Lorenzo Casati and Leonardo Casati both out there on the Harlem. And then we have James Carew front and center on your screen, is out there on the Duotone, your event winner. Just starting off with a calm and cruisy back roll, but not quite getting the landing there, I reckon. Still easing into it.
Yeah, he's going to have fun out there, James. You know, he's done what he needed to do. He's taken the event win, and for him now, normally we don't necessarily see him get involved in the expression sessions. I think once he's wrapped up, he likes to enjoy the moment, but there's, you know, conditions out there are great. Why would you not want to be on the water?
Yeah, and one of the things James said in the interview just before starting the competition was, you know, for the last year, he's felt like a dog on a leash. So once that leash is off, no wonder he wants to go out and play. Yeah,
James having that opening trick as a crash, but still with 3 trick attempts remaining. They all have 4 attempts. And to remind you, Gabriel Benetton is the man to beat with that triple front roll, scoring a 9. So this is the last heat, actually, of our strapless riders. So
it looks like we're going to be starting off with the blue lycra.
Yep.
James Carew, so blue lycra will be the man to jump first. Then we're going to have black, red, and white. So that man is going to be the first athlete to engage as soon as we hear the horn.
Yeah, it hasn't gone yet. This is all just a bit of fun at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, just, you know, getting loosey-goosey out there, as Mr. Angulo would say. And it's starting to look like the wind's picking up. You can see some of the white horses, as you like to say, Liam. And there's the horn, all right. It's all guns blazing. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
So first trick attempt now. James starting off sequence here. Check out what the wind's doing as well. We've got a good solid about 23 to 25 knots at the moment, as James not able to grab his board.
That is what we call a teabag. All right, so this man, Lorenzo, one of the best big air twin tip riders in the world. He has been a Red Bull King of the Air winner, and impressively here in the strapless side at this event, he has been absolutely ripping. And one of the things we definitely can say is that you know, here his younger brother, they know what it's like to be out there in extreme conditions because they're used to that 40 knots. And you can see both, you know, Lorenzo here, who has done a very impressive event, and then we can see Leonardo as well. They're just at ease, and it is 40. You know, when it was 40 to 45 knots, they just had a smile when the rest of the people were scared.
Yeah, one of the things that they really excel, which you could see, which was different to a lot of the other riders, was how good their takeoff and landings were. They're so used to, as you say, going in strong winds and 40 knots and coming down with speed, being able to land, you know, so elegantly and smooth. I think Lorenzo, you know, very rarely did he crash.
Yep.
At such extremity.
All right, Lorenzo here, looking for the kicker. Looking like a front roll kite loop there. Yeah, backhand, but just getting caught off by the wave on the inside.
Going to be interesting to see how the Cassatis do, because obviously it's not as windy. They prefer it when it's honking. So it's definitely going to be a bit more technical. I think kite loops aren't going to be scoring up high in the 8s or the 9s. Unless that technical factor is there. I think you're going to have to take the same route as Gabriel and go for, yeah, Gabriel or Ayrton, sorry. Either an unhooked backside or frontside 3, and then, yeah, if you can get a triple front roll shove it, I think that's going to be the one.
Kiko with his classical double front roll. Does it different than pretty much most of the people. Gets a lot more height, doesn't it quite have the whip to it, but yeah, you need to make sure that board is pointed against the wind, and unfortunately just losing that. So that is a crash out for everybody minus Leonardo, your leader so far, with a 5.03 out there in the black lycra. James Carew coming up for round number 2 of maneuvers.
So we've got about 21 knots, gusting up to 25. We look at the scores now. The only score is the one from Leonardo. There's Leonardo there.
Oh, double tic-tac. Very nice.
Style.
There was absolute no hesitation in the spin either.
No, nice landing onto the wave in front as well.
You can see the corner of the screen, the new Harlems, the new Thrives. Very fast, very technical kite. And, you know, put it in the hands of these two and good things will happen. All right, James Carew, here we go.
He looks pretty powered there. Didn't get a very good takeoff.
Oh, just going down. Not quite, like you said, not got the takeoff, didn't get the height. All right, Cassati coming up next. Oh, Leonardo again. Look at it. Almost gets the board in the face, but still controls it. And even eyes down the crowd.
Yeah, we're going to see Leonardo in Tarifa in a couple of weeks as well for the Youth World Championships. That'll be the next event for him. Next week we go to Dunkirk, France. Kicking things off with twin-tip freestyle for the first time this year.
Very nice. It's a good job he had a helmet there, because I definitely did. I reckon he got contact. Yeah, Leonardo. I'd probably say, you know, if I was a betting man, he is definitely one of the top contenders for being the Youth World Champion.
Man, he's one of the top contenders at any event that he enters now. I mean, you look at Gran Canaria, the big air twin tip. He was in, was he 4th place there?
Yep.
One of his, I think maybe his 2nd World Cup or big air event. Yeah, he hasn't done a lot, but he's for sure cementing himself as one of the best in the world. And he'll, yeah, like you said, want to take that Youth World Championship that happens over in Val Chaos. Your home spot over in Tarifa.
Home sweet home. You gotta love Tarifa. All the boys, passing the boys down there at Tumbao. Make sure to have a cold one. It's getting to, as you said before, mate, it's dangerously close to being that time of the day. And yeah, it's always cool to have the youngster vibe down there in Val Chaos. I mean, Tarifa, definitely one of the world meccas when it comes to kiteboarding. So many champions have come out of there, and it is great to see the future generations coming on, because they are getting younger and younger, and really cool to see the youth pushing it out. Oh, doobie board off. Trying the doobie board off there. They're just not getting caught up by the kite, are they? It's obviously wind not as strong as they want, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a mixture of just, yeah, the wind obviously not being there, and because of that reason, not getting enough height to allow yourself to swing back under the kite while it shoots back up to 12. Yeah, height's your friend when you want to be looping the kites.
It definitely is. So, I look at it. James is just out there having fun. You can see, I mean, this guy has had a smile on for the last, 36 hours. He came, I mean, hats off to him. A year out, came up on top. Question was, did he still have it? And proved a point.
You never really looked in doubt either. You speak to James in the lead up, and
very confident.
He was very much like, yeah, this event's mine, before he'd even gone in his first round. Cool.
Does he get it? No, same problem again. That second rotation. See, one of the things with strapless riding is you use the wind to keep the board stuck to your feet. Let's say, technically, the stronger the wind, the easier the board stays to your feet because it means it's pushing against it. But you do have to position the board so it is always being pushed up against your feet. You can see there, Kiko, with 2 rotations. Oh, Lorenzo just having a little surf, a little schmackaroo here on the inside.
Yeah, James now up for his 3rd trick attempt. We're gonna see a kite loop again. What do you reckon?
3-1-3.
No, yeah, good call.
There you go.
That's a
Does he get
proper
it?
one.
Oh,
no.
Look at the frustration on his face. That
could have been it.
That could have been it. He did land it.
And the height on that one.
Now, my question is, judges. He landed it with control, had full control, but it was the white water. Now, it's going to be a crash, but what a shame, because he did have that one. That could have contested the 9.0 from Gabriel.
I'd love to know, it's going down as a crash. I'd love to know what they would have scored it. Maybe I should ask him after this what they would score it. What do you reckon?
I mean, think that the backside 3 from Ayrton was an 8.17.
Yeah.
So it's definitely up in the region of maybe being more than a 9. Obviously, the judges have a better perspective, but this young man,
yeah, he's ripping.
Man, the board off ninja.
Yeah, he didn't look like he had enough height to actually put the board back on his feet. Watch, ready? He goes.
1, 2. He does it. It's as if he doesn't even. It's almost as he has a handle on there. Incredible.
That's crazy.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant here from Leonardo. Now Lorenzo Casati is going to be going in for his 3rd move. Here we have him. Your Italian, Spanish, hailing out of Tenerife. You caught up with him earlier this week saying that he was pretty much wanted to compete in everything that he could get his hands on.
Yeah, I mean, he said it in the interview as well after. He's just one of those riders that wants to spend as much time training and competing in the water as possible. It's his first hydrofoil event that he did. He finished 2nd. He's got a podium place there. He dedicates himself very much to twin tip big air. That's really what his priority is. But, he absolutely rips on the wave. We've seen him at a few of the pure wave events as well. But I think he's going to be here on every single hydrofoil, every single strapless, and every single twin tip event there is for big air as well.
Yeah, trying to eye out the kicker, board off kite loop, or kite loop board off, choose your poison. Nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean, just bread and butter, isn't it, for these guys? Okay, so Kiko is the next rider to jump as he goes for his 3rd trick attempt as well. Are we going to see that double front roll again, Joe? What do you reckon?
I reckon we are. I mean, it's just one of his textbook moves. Also, he's got a front with a double tic-tac. But, yeah. Obviously, lighter winds are the speciality of Kiko. That's why he won here last year, taking the 1st position. He's been on tour for quite a while, known definitely for his strapless freestyle abilities. And obviously, trick attempt number 3, still 2 to go. Let's see what he's got, because at the moment, it is a 0.
The Casati brothers are just having so much fun out there, just jumping whenever they fancy it. Okay, so this is a really important one because this is the last trick now for James. I think Kiko still has to jump though. But after this round of tricks, they'll be doing 1 more trick attempt each. And then it's it's really who can bring it to Gabriel.
All right, so it looks like we missed that maneuver of Kiko. We do apologise, but here we have James Carew.
Yeah, he's going to unhook, isn't he? Yeah, you can see him loading up.
Oh no! He's spewing. Absolutely spewing. Look at his face. No, that went off, unfortunately. So that is going to be a crash for James.
It's good to see him there, just having fun though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a year off of injury, coming back, showing that you have what it takes, taking the podium. That's a happy man right there.
So the rider of the heat so far is this guy on the screen, Leonardo Casati, who's put together 3 landed tricks with the best one being the back roll tic-tac, which was his second attempt. What's he got on his fourth?
Oh, trying the back roll tic-tac to flip.
It was about time he had a crash, though.
Yeah, you know, it's making it look way too easy.
Yeah, make us feel a little bit better.
All right, so 2 more maneuvers of this heat. It's going to be red lycra, Lorenzo Casati. White lycra is going to be Kiko Reut. And that is going to be it for the kitesurf discipline. We will find out, but at the moment we can confirm that your top rider, Gabriel Benetton, a 9.0 for a triple front roll. And here we have Casati looking to prove a point and beat his little brother, but at the moment, looks like the youngster's got the bigger room. 1, 2, oh, 3. Buzzer beater.
You reckon?
Oof. It was close. What have we got from Leonardo? I had a 5.63, and I think that was the double one he had. A little bit more style from Leonardo. Let's see how Lorenzo has scored on that. It's going to be a close one.
Definitely be close. Maybe the big brother just putting the little brother back in his place.
Bragging rights.
It's got to be. It's good to see them 2 in the heat. I think this, this is obviously going to be a regular occurrence that we see with the Casatis in the same heat.
And that is going to be it. We just heard the horn, so that is going to be the end of the best trick here of the Defender GKA Kite-Surf World Cup over here in Sylt. We are waiting for result confirmations, but I think we can say it does look like it's going to be the Brazilian Gabriel Benetton with a 9. He's also had the best individual score of the competition with that 10 for a triple front roll with a shove. It was absolutely ridiculous. So we are now going to be moving over to the Hydrofoil discipline, where all 6 riders are going to be out there at once. And they're going to have half an hour to express themselves, because let's not forget, freestyle, the meaning of freestyle is you are free to go and express yourself out there on the water, get the vibes, get the crowd, get it going. Let's see, Hydrofoil coming up next.
We've got 6 riders in one heat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back now, and next up we are going to be having the Hydrofoil discipline. I was pretty close there, wasn't I? So let me just go back a little bit. So yeah, Hydrofoil expression session coming up next with best trick. That's going to be happening at 2 o'clock. So local time, that'll be in 7 minutes time. So don't go anywhere. Up next, we've got 6 riders in the water for the Hydrofoil best trick expression session.
Wir sind die mit dem Frühlingsquark. Würzig mild, extra cremig und immer frühlingsfrisch. Für euch haben wir immer neue Ideen, damit für alle was dabei ist. Auch vegan. Macht's euch einfach lecker mit der Quark- und Streichvielfalt von Milram. Jetzt wild und neu. Frühlingsquark Wildkräuter.
There's so many different places that I've never seen before, and a million things I never felt this way. Time to go now. New horizons waiting, sail away with me. Down the ocean, sweep the sky.
AIDA. Erlebt euch anders.
Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon. Take it to around your body. Boy, I love the way you got me. Starry-eyed, got me starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon.
So welcome back, everybody, as we now do the expression session of the Hydrofoil Hydrofoil best trick. Is it going to be big air? Maybe it might be. It's pretty windy out there still. Not as windy as we have seen. We're probably upwards of around 20 to 25 knots. There's Pierre Schneider there just enjoying a bit of freedom. But who have we got? We've got Charles Bedell, Andrea Zust, Pierre Schneider and Robbie James. A name that I know all of you love to hear. Currently riders just having a bit of fun. We've got the 1 minute countdown going on. And then we're going to see who's going to be taking the W, taking the win here. A little bit of prize money up for grabs as well in this expression session. There's Charles Bedell here going up for a front roll. 1, 2, how about another one? 3, one more maybe? Very stylish. Beautiful week we've had in Sylt, as we keep mentioning time and time again. It's been very, very fun. We've had incredible conditions, some amazing heats. And we have crowned our champions. In an hour's time, we're going to be doing the podiums on the stage. And then hopefully again be back next year in Sylt. And praying, keeping our fingers and our toes crossed that we're going to get similar conditions to what we saw at this event. Andrea Zust there, the only female that competed in the Hydrofoil division. Charles Bedell, kite loop board off on a foil. A little bit of a foil slide on the landing as well. As we are now underway. And it is Charles Bedell to jump first. So keep your eye on that blue lycra there at the bottom of our screen. Charles Bedell, he's going to be the first man to jump, riding the F1 gear, and he's also been part of a big development process with that kite that you can see. It is a prototype, but it sure is doing the business for him. He is the event winner here in Sylt, and will now also be going for the best trick win. And that would do the double as he goes up. Kite loop. And a soft landing there. As you can see there, back up on the foil. It looks like we've already got a few scores dropping. Maybe we missed the first selection of scores. Pierre Schneider. Going up, back roll, kite loop as well with some more back roll rotations. Pierre Schneider, first event here for him, and he finished third. So he's had a great start. Robbie James, where's Robbie James? There he is. That's the big dog. There he is. Had to do his military service over in Singapore. That's why we said goodbye to Robbie for a couple of years, but he's back now, back with a vengeance. Speaking to him last night, he is stoked to be back competing, wants to do the whole tour, going to focus on the Hydrofoil big air discipline as well. Charles Bedell going for the next trick. So it's tough with these riders because there is no turn. It's not turn by turn at the moment. So it's quite hard to find the right riders. As you can see here, we focus now back to Charles, who just finished his jump. So we're just going to run with it here. Plenty of jumps going on all the time. You know, people jumping at the same time. Loads of riders on the water. But you know what they say? All chicken makes great broth. And that's what we're here for. Jumps now coming for Charles Bradell. Okay, so great shot there. All three riders. Little, well, what looked like a bit of back roll rotation there from Charles Bradell as he's just out there treating it like a park. Beautiful front roll with a board off here. Charles Bradell, multiple rotations coming down, and look at that, straight back onto the foil. There, Robbie James going for a similar move, but less rotations. As we now have a couple of scores dropping, the 6.67 there for Charles Bradell. They've got half an hour to jump, which probably explains why we're only seeing the one trick attempt, the one trick down. That will just be their best trick that shows out of all of their tricks that they're jumping. But while we have a little bit of time on our hands as well, we're going to dive into, let's say, the story behind the Hydrofoil Big Air here in Sylt. And why don't we give you a little bit of background about Hydrofoil itself. So, I mean, previously in the last few years in the GKA, we had it separate. We had Hydrofoil Freestyle and we had Hydrofoil Big Air. And the decision was recently made with the committee itself to sort of combine the two together. And depending on what sort of location we go to and what conditions we get, we can either see a little bit more freestyle or more catered for big air. Here in Sylt, we've seen definitely riders go for Hydrofoil Big Air, which has been great to see. And as mentioned previously, Andrea Zust is the only female competing with the men, and she had a great start to her campaign, as did a few of the other riders. We've had Richard Stevens coming out of Bahrain. We also had 8-time German champion over in the freestyle section, Linus Erdmann. We also had the youngster Finn Flugel. He sure does keep himself busy. And then, as mentioned, coming back after military service for 2 years, Robbie James, who's on the water now. We saw Hunter Becker come out from America all the way down here to Sylt. And then, obviously, the current world champion, Charles Bradell, Lorenzo Casati as well. Pierre Schneider in this heat had his first event. He finished third. The early rounds in the Hydrofoil saw rounds of 3. And then rounds 2 and 4, we had heats of 4. Nice and busy heats. We also saw, I guess, full-time kiter, part-time commentator now, Teo Dimanes. He was also in the Hydrofoil, getting eliminated in round 4. But the semi-finals saw, again, the Dominican Republicans, Joselito Alex Soto, put on some good performances. Unfortunately for Alex Soto, his journey ended in the semi-final. He would have been looking to go through into the final and joining Lorenzo and Charles as they passed Finn Flugel and Borja Velon coming out of Spain. Once we made the final, it was a real tasty one. Charles Bradell did end up winning the event with a 21.54. Great competition for him, as Pierre Schneider there just going down after his trick attempt. Speaking of Pierre Schneider, 11.49 was his total score in the final. That's finishing third, just behind Lorenzo Casati in his first ever Hydrofoil competition as well. Joselito wrapping things up in 4th place. So 2 riders there out of the 4 that were in the final who it is their first time competing in this discipline. So great performances there from them. But it really is, at the moment, all about the man on your screen here, Charles Bradell, who is just a rider that continues to push this discipline in the right way. Loves training at Super Strong Winds, spends a lot of time in Barcarez, If you haven't checked that spot out, that is in south of France. And it is absolutely nuking down there. The Tramontana wind is a fierce one to be reckoned with. As Charles Bedell going there for the kite loop, board off, also with a grab on the front of the boards on the way down. Next up for the hydrofoil big air discipline, we'll be going to Brazil. It's still all up for grabs. Andrea there going for a kite loop and landing it nicely as well. Athletes underway in this best trick. So what have we got at the moment? We've got Charles Bedell, who has the best trick as it stands. The overall impression score from Charles Bedell is 7.50. So how is it working here for the hydrofoil? Is it done on tricks or is it done on impression score? Sorry, it's one heat, obviously with all 6 in at the same time for 30 minutes. We're probably about, I'd say, just under 10 minutes in. So we've got a good solid stint now of 20 minutes left. The score of the hydrofoil will be an overall impression, and it can change during the heat regarding the impression the rider gives to our judge panel. So essentially, let's say Charles Bedell goes for a front roll, or let's say this goes for this, board off and lands it. Maybe the judges rate that at, say, a 5, for example. If he was then to crash his next trick, maybe that score of a 5 will go down to a 2, you know, or even a 1. And then say maybe the next one he does is a kite loop board off, then his trick might go all the way back up to 8. So trick scores will be fluctuating depending on the impression that they're doing. That's why it's important that they just keep on linking in tricks together, showing a little bit of variety, the technical maneuvers, the most complete rider doing more tricks and different moves, expressing a good level of control and showing to the public and judges will have the better score. So it's not just about doing the hardest trick, it's about showing multiple maneuvers, as Charles Bedell there going nicely extended with that rotation, board off. So it's an overall impression score. At the moment, Charles Bedell sitting on an 8. Second place, Robbie James, 5.03. Then we have Pierre Schneider, followed by Andrea Zust. So quite a different format here. We saw in the Kite-Surf that it was done by trick, what trick you did and what trick would score the highest, which was Gabriel Benetton. He is the overall trick winner there. But it's a little bit different here in hydrofoil. It's done on an overall impression score, calculated over multiple moves in that 30-minute time period. So 10 minutes in now, 20 minutes to go. Lots more tricks to follow and come our way. Beautifully timed this will be because its local time is 2:15 in the afternoon. Charles Bedell now going up, board off. Showing a nice sort of acrobats there. Just having fun with it, our riders. You know, that's what it's all about. You know, these expression sessions. You know, no one's trying to take themselves too seriously. Obviously, everyone's got their competitive hat on. But sometimes it's just about putting on a show for this amazing crowd that we have here in Sylt. As Pierre Schneider, back roll, board off, with a rodeo. And lands it really nice there. This rider, Pierre, has up there in my top 3 for best impression in regards to his first tour stop. You know, it's his first time competing, and he's really put, you know, his foot on the ground, and with a great result there in the hydrofoil, finishing 3rd. We will be for sure seeing him at future events this year. Charles there, left foot forward, looking for the kicker, goes up, front roll, board off, kite loop, contra loop. And landed. Beautiful there from the Frenchman, the world champion, the event winner, the also European champion. He's got so many titles to his name. Charles put down our left foot forward once again. He sits on an 8 as he goes up with the board off, flipping the board round. Doesn't want to fall on that. First time we've seen him get wet. Robbie James with a kite loop late back. Pierre Schneider, kite loop. No, sorry, kite loop. That was a back roll, multiple rotations actually, and a slight down loop on the way down. Charles now bumping his overall impression up to a 9. It's probably going to go down a little bit though after that crash. But he'll probably go for that move once again, left foot forward. Nice kicker here. Here we go, goes up. Multiple grabs, rotations, very good style. Andrea there. Again as well, nicely done by her. Okay, here we go. As we move in now, 16 minutes in, 14 to go. Pierre goes for the kite loop. Has an interesting way of landing, sort of comes in with that board horizontal to him. Let's remind ourselves of the top finishers for the kite surf discipline. In first place on the ladies, we had Capucine Denoir, Camille Lozorand, and Keziani Rodriguez. They're our top 3 that we'll be seeing on the podium in 40 minutes time here at Sylt. And then on the men's sides, third place Lorenzo Casati, second place Gabriel Benetton, who won the best trick about half an hour ago on the strapless. And then we have none other than your event winner here in Sylt 2024, James Carew. Pierre Shiner there landing that one. Charles Bradell, little replay. Not much height, but nice little sort of tweaking out the board, let's say. Just enjoying some time on the water, getting wet out there. Andrea, bigger kite loop that she's done. Ooh, nasty landing there, sort of going over the front of the boards. Definitely want to be wearing a helmet. Robbie James now on your bottom of your screen. There's Charles Waddell just showing great kite control before just going down in the drink a little bit. Charles Bradell, front row. Two of them actually with a contra loop. As we now look at Robbie James with the front roll. Kite loop. Back slap. Andrea here. Nicely landed there for her. All riders starting to link it in together now. As we can see, those are your current standings on overall impression score. That has been fluctuating up and down over the last 20 minutes because we're in the last 10 minutes now. The Hydrofoil expression session, the last bit of competition we have today and during this event. One of the oldest water sports events, the one here in Sylt in Europe. And it's a pleasure for the GKA to come and compete as we see a contra loop here from Per Schneider. Charles Bradell, locked and loaded. As we see him go up and get a bad takeoff. That will knock down that impression score a little bit. Andrea now going into third place. Robbie James in fourth. Robbie just needing to get a little bit more synergy going in his moves. Charles Bradell, back roll, kite loop board off, and with some lovely tweaked out grabs. Beautiful stuff there from Charles Bradell, really cementing himself in that first position. So last push now as we get towards the latter stages of this heat. And the final heat of the day. It's been fantastic all week. Robbie James now on your screen. He is the rider in last place as he goes to try and get that board off his feet, but doesn't quite manage to grab it. Andrea there, going for the kite loop right in front of her boyfriend Pierre. And we love it when the drone goes in the air. Just look at that beautiful setting. The event site now starting to ramp up, as you can see on the right-hand side. Maybe we can take a little fly over to the event site and see what's cooking over there. As we focus also in now Robbie James. Goes up. Kite loop, late back. But a crash as he goes over the front of his board. Now we go to Charles Waddell, who does the same with an extra added rotation on the way down. This guy really is in a league of his own at the moment. And as you do, just a comfortable, fun back row at the end. Charles Waddell, you see kite loop, late back, with another rotation going down and straight back up to the foil with an added back roll just for a bit of fun and games. Looking like Charles now going to be taking the victory here for this expression session. Hydrofoil best trick. Robbie James at the moment needs to do a little bit more to get his way up. Charles Waddell now 9.03 overall impression. Piers Schneider second place. Andrea in third, and this guy on your screen, Robbie James, just going for a straight air jump there. You can see directing the kite and just landing that jump, getting a bit of confidence back in the planes. As this is the view we want to see. Look at that. Busy promenade on the left-hand side. Beautiful. There we go. That's where the screen is, where you can see those defenders parked up. That's where we'll be very, very shortly, announcing our event winners officially. And then you can see just how many people are going to be starting to gather towards that venue. Plenty of wind out there as well. The tide's starting to get nice and high. Plenty of lovely food stalls as well. Proper day out down here in Sylt. We've had signature sessions throughout the week. Rider Q&As. And obviously bundles of competition. As Charles Waddell now looking to get a few more tricks as he goes for a back roll, kite loop, board off, rotating on the way down as well. And pretty much does that trick with his eyes closed now. His overall impression is increasing as a lovely extended back roll off that kicker. Let's watch that one again. Really lets go of the bar as well. 9.33 overall impression score now for Charles Waddell. As we now make our way and follow the promenade of Sylt. You see there lots of benches. People have been parked up there for the whole day, enjoying the kite surf action that we've had. And then you can see the screen. It's been showing all sorts of competition throughout the week. Our judge tower on the left-hand side there, the live booth, and then the private riders area. But it's all going to be happening at that location there in about 30 minutes time. I like to say we're going to be cooking with gas, and if you can't handle the heat, you know what you have to do? You've got to get out the kitchen. But no one's going to be getting out the kitchen here because we're enjoying the last moments now of the Hydrofoil Big Air best trick. Charles Waddell is going to be victorious if all stays the same. 3 minutes left. Charles Waddell there breaking the eggs and making the omelette, as he is just in a league of his own. Andrea crashing out as we now go. Final couple of minutes. Robbie James looking like maybe he's coming back in now. His time is done. Or maybe he's body dragging back out. Yeah, he's not done. Of course he's not done. It's Robbie James. Charles there, overall impression of his 9.33. Doesn't get much better than that. Charles Waddell, back roll, kite loop, board off, added rotations. You just see there with his body, really looks over that shoulder and initiates that rotation nice and quickly. Last minutes. So here we go. This is the final minute of competition here in Sylt. And this will be an event to remember for 2024. It's been fantastic. Some of the windiest conditions we've had, especially for the kite surf discipline and even for hydrofoil as well. It was pretty windy, but Friday, my lord, absolutely nuking. 50 knots of wind on Friday. What have we done this week? We've crowned champions in hydrofoil. We've crowned champions in kite surf. We've had a little fun with some expression sessions as well. And in the mix of all of that, we've had things going on and off the water as well. And you know what? We cannot wait to come back. My first time in Sylt. I'll definitely be coming back as the buzzer has gone. And there we have it. That is the end of the heat and the end of competition now in Sylt. It's been an amazing week. Charles Waddell there taking the overall impression score. Gabriel Benetton winning the best trick on the men's kite surf. Charles is the winner. That is official. Gabriel Benetton is the winner on the kites on the strapless. That is official. James Carew is the winner of the event. Capucine joins him. And then we also have Charles Waddell that won the hydrofoil big air. And it's that time of the day now. It's the time that we have to say goodbye, but it's not goodbye forever. It's only goodbye for now, because we'll be seeing you again very, very shortly. Up next, we have the GKA Freestyle Kite World Cup. That's taking place next week in Dunkirk. I'm on a train tomorrow morning going to Dunkirk. You guys are going to follow. Thank you so much for tuning in for the last week. It's been a pleasure commentating through multiple heats and really excited for what's to come for the rest of the 2024 season. Cheers. Thanks you very much.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back.
World champions will be crowned, legends will be made. This is going to be epic.
This is a dream come true.
And let's go for the next one.